February job numbers are out. Let's see how the American workforce performed the second month of the year. The U.S. gained 678,000 jobs in February. The unemployment rate dropped slightly to 3.8%. Workforce participation rate is at 62.3%, meaning 37.7% of the total population of 16 to 64-year-olds are not employed right now. In February, 4.2 million persons reported that they were unable to work because of their employer closed or lost business due to the pandemic. This number is down from 6 million the previous month. After large increases over the past 12 months of 5.1%, average hourly earnings in the U.S. stayed about the same in February. The GDP of these United States grew by 5.7% in 21, the largest growth since '84. Due to recent international events, forecasters are predicting a 1.8% GDP growth in the first quarter, but are optimistic at an almost 4% growth over the entire 2022 year. The average work week is also increasing, with manufacturing employees getting an average of 30 extra minutes per week on their paycheck. So that's the good news. More people are working, employers are giving out more hours, people are getting paid more for the hours they work, and they're calling out sick less. But there's obviously a giant elephant sitting in this room: inflation. Over the past 12 months, the CPI rose 7.9%. This is the largest yearly surge since the first year of Reagan. In 2020 and the beginning of 2021, the Fed and the federal government decided to help people and businesses economically survive the pandemic by pumping in money at a cheap rate through stimulus, loans, and repurchasing agreements. However, the amount of goods produced in the economy did not grow at the same pace as the money supply. This resulted in people having money with nothing to spend it on, which pushed up prices of everyday goods. At the same time, the oil industry has been recouping its losses from 2020 by intentionally lagging fuel production behind demand, hiking prices 6.6% in February. This accounted for almost 1/3 of February's 7.5% inflation. Looking forward to March, it's not looking good. Halfway through the month, and fuel prices have already gone up 24%. Inflation is not going anywhere this month. To combat this, the Federal Reserve is expected to increase the cost of borrowing money by raising interest rates several times this year. The Grand Poobah at the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said he wants to raise interest rates by 2% by the end of the year, starting with a possible 0.25% hike at the end of this month, which means it'll likely be at least 6 weeks before we see any relief from inflation. Between the U.S. lifting most health restrictions, insecurities in Europe, and continued lockdowns in China, investors have naturally flocked to the security of the U.S. dollar. This is good news for the government and our monetary system, but does little to ease the immediate effects of inflation. So, long story short, in the last month, everything got more expensive, but at least your boss will let you work overtime.